Okay, so Fender has come out with some new guitars called the Ultra Series, which effectively replaces the Elite Series. So you know what we got to do? We got to compare them and show you what is new, why these are being replaced, and why you should care. Check it out. Hey, you're watching Alamo Music TV. My name's Chris McKee.
I'm Cooper Greenberg.
We're here with Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you're new here, we do all sorts of guitar review videos, news, demos, reviews, and so forth. So make sure that you subscribe, turn on notifications, like our videos, and comment below. As we mentioned, Fender has some new guitars, which are pretty awesome. So what Fender is doing is effectively replacing the Elite Series, which back in 2013, I think it was, replaced the Deluxe Series as their high-end electric line that is built in the US Corona factory and is not custom shop. So this is as high as you can go outside of something that's a limited edition or custom shop guitar. Well, they're replacing the Elites with new Ultra Series guitars. And if you haven't already seen our video doing a rundown of what's basically an overview in the series, make sure that you check out that video. I'll put a link to it right up there. So in that video, we discuss all of the specifics of what's going on with the Ultra. In this video, we want to pare that back a little bit and really kind of take a look and appreciate the guitar that it's replacing. So we're looking at two Stratocasters in this video. This is the Fender Elite Stratocaster, and Cooper's got the Fender Ultra. Which color is that?
This is the Mocha Burst, brand new.
New colors, new contours,
Yeah.
new neck shapes, new pickups. There's a lot of new. So let's talk about the Elite first. Since I'm holding that, we'll go over kind of what's going on here. And you know, back when this replaced the Deluxe Series, we actually did a comparison on that, which a lot of people appreciated. And I will warn you, that's an old video of ours, so the production may not be as good, but I'll put a link to it nevertheless up there, and you can see that rundown. And what Fender's basically been doing with each of these iterations is going through and looking at the model and trying to stay true to what it is while modernizing and changing a few things. And in some cases, which we'll talk about on this video, they've actually given you less, but sometimes less is more, to make it a little bit more straightforward. And specifically, I'm talking about the S1 switching on these two guitars, and we'll get into that. So let's go over the Elite first. So the Elites were available in for the Stratocaster in 3 single coils or HSS versions. And you had, much like the Deluxe that it replaced, so you had beautiful colors. This is the Olympic Pearl, so basically a very pearlescent white finish. You have noiseless pickups. These are 4th generation. You had rubberized knobs, which was the first time that Fender had done that. A pop-in tremolo arm with a set screw so that you could adjust that, kind of a la PRS. The block saddles, which the Deluxes had before that. The S1 switch, which gave you a myriad of switching capabilities between all of the pickups. And then you had a big change on these was the location of the truss rod and the neck shape. So they kept the compound radius, which the Deluxes had had for a number of years. It was going from, I think, 9.5 or 10 to 14. And then the back of the neck was a compound carve from a C to a D shape. They also gave you a new carve on the heel. And then locking tuners and all of those things that we would expect from a Deluxe or Elite, or basically top of the line modern Stratocaster. And that's what these lines continue to be, is a modern Stratocaster. So it's not trying to be something that's not a Stratocaster. There's a particular formula, there's a particular sound, there's a reason why the Strat is one of the most copied shapes on the market. But sometimes when you veer too far from the formula, you start changing fret wire material or other things, you no longer have a Strat. You have a guitar that's shaped like a Strat that sounds very, very different. So that's a big part of what was going on. But let's talk about what's changed on here, and then we'll get into the specifics of like the switching and whatnot that's different.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that's similar. You still got locking tuners and you got noiseless pickups, but kind of from the top down, you know, truss rods back up top, which
You can swap pick guards easily now. You don't have to have that little notch.
Yeah, and then on the neck, we're working with a modern D neck, and then, you know, noiseless pickups, S1 switching, and the carve in the back is actually where, you know, maybe a little enhancement there.
Yeah, and you know, we were talking about this before we started rolling, and I'm just going to be honest. I preferred the heel that the Deluxes had to the Elites, because if you ever saw those, it was just as thick, but it was rolled off here. So you had a soft edge, you did not have a hard edge. And I understand what they were doing here, and it's fine. It's ergonomically great. It feels good, but I didn't like it as much. And I really feel like this is combining those two traits.
Yeah.
And more so because you've got a lot of sculpting that's taking place, and the heel is significantly, let's try to see if we can get a side angle. It is significantly thinner on the Ultras versus what you had on the Elites.
Yeah.
And so that is something that your hand really feels, and it looks killer.
And then that carve too.
Yeah.
It takes it kind of to the next level.
And you can't really
yeah.
tell, but even the belly carve is different. It's a deeper carve than what this had to it. So all to be, again, a bit more ergonomic. Now the neck, you mentioned the carve. Check out the finish though. Look at that.
Yeah, I love that finish.
We've got the skunk stripe back, but overall it's got a tint to it.
Yeah.
A little bit more of a vintage vibe going on.
Yeah, and not to mention the ultra rolled, you know, makes a huge difference, the comfortability, and it's kind of, you know, something that sets this apart, makes it kind of special.
It's something that's hard to see. Well, you can't really see it visually, but you can feel it. Is the back of the neck, the finish is different. So what Fender's calling that is ultra satin to go with the ultra rolled edges on this ultra neck with ultra tint.
Yeah.
But it really does feel different. That, you know, this is nice and smooth. This feels like it has a little bit more friction. That is smoother. You know, they've gone back to rosewood and maple versus the ebony. But you can definitely feel the rolled edges more so on that than on this. And then the carve. So this we talked about with C to D. That's a modern D. I think it's, to me, it feels like a split the difference between these two. And it's, nobody has held that guitar and not liked it.
Yeah.
So really fantastic. And then we talked about the pickups. So these would be basically generation 5. But they are ultra noiseless pickups. And that's going to be a big comparison in this video, that you're going to be able to hear the difference between what's going on with the Gen 4 noiseless pickups and the Gen 5 noiseless pickups, and then the S1 switching. And I'll try to be brief on this because I know I'm going to get it wrong. We'll actually just say it this way. There's 5 different switches with S1, and they are a combination of in phase and out of phase and in series and parallel and stuff. And some of them I feel like aren't very useful and they sound muddy.
Yeah.
And what Fender's done with this one is, it's real simple. In 2 and 4 and 3, if you hit the S1 switch, it adds the neck pickup. So you have that telly sound with the bridge and the neck that you usually can't have. You have all 3 on in series if you have it in the second position with it on. It's really straightforward. It's not as it's not as full featured, but it's also not as complicated and arguably more useful. So with that being said, let's listen to the differences between the two guitars. Okay, so there you have it. Hopefully you can hear the differences between the pickups, and of course, with the Elites you had more S1 switches options, like I was saying, but I actually think it's more useful the way that they're doing it. And then the thing we alluded to at the very beginning was new colors. So you've got Mocha Burst, which, move that around a bit. There is so much fleck in that. It's beautiful. And there's another finish, the Arctic White.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Just pops as the color hits it. It's really awesome. This one that I'm holding is the Texas T. And incidentally, the Texas T on the Strat has this gold anodized pickguard. It's available on the Telly, and on the Telly it's a silver anodized pickguard, and it kind of changes the way the color pops. There's a little bit more silver that comes out of it, particularly on stage. These finishes just pop. So lots of cool options that are available. We've got a lot of these coming in pretty much as you're watching this video. So if you would like more information on the new Ultra Series that has replaced the Fender Elites, go to the link below, and that's going to take you to our website with the entire series. You'll see stuff that's in stock as well as that is available for pre-order. And we have tried to get as much of these in really at launch as we could, and I anticipate that they'll probably sell out quickly. So if you want to get one of the first launch guitars, make sure that you visit that, check out what's available, and purchase a pre-order on there and see all of the beautiful colors. There's Cobra Blue, the Ultra Burst is really nice.
Yeah. Age Natural.
The Age Natural.
Yeah.
We've got Plasma Burst, which is cool. So some really fantastic finish options, some of which I've probably forgotten. So anyways, head below, check out that information. Like I said at the beginning, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe turn on notifications, and like our videos. And we'll be doing more videos about the Ultra Series, really wanting to look in depth at each model, particularly the Jazzmaster. It's the first time they've had kind of a high-end US-made, non-vintage, modern Jazzmaster available in any of the lineups, and we are excited to check that out. So stay tuned. We'll see you next time. Hey, thanks so much for watching. We hope you are enjoying our channel. You might be interested to know that Alamo Music has 2 more YouTube channels. One for piano and keyboard enthusiasts, and the other, our Alamo Music Audio Lab channel that focuses on synthesizers, drum machines, and other things with Chris Klein. So, if you're interested in checking those out, down in the bottom of the description, I have links to both of those channels. We hope to see you there as well.
So I did.
Yeah, I knew that
You
was
knew what I was doing.
Yeah, I know. I know.